Welcome back. We are mixing our movie, doing some audio work. I'm going to be working on Project 5G Mixing Tracks Split. If you want to follow along, right click and import project and go to your work files and select 5G Mixing Tracks Split.drp. Open that up. If your media doesn't connect, make sure to go to Media Pool on probably the edit page, select all of your bins, right click and say relink clips for selected bins. Select your media folder and hit select folder and everything should connect and be all nice. Yeah. Then we'll switch back over to the Fairlight page. All right, so we have our tracks roughly split out here and we'll probably split them a lot more. We'll add probably 10 or 20 more tracks. But the first thing that we're going to really focus on is leveling our dialogue, making sure that it's all basically the same level for each character in each environment. And then we'll work on kind of grouping it together and adjusting it as a whole. So let's start with Sarah's lines on this first track. I'm going to select all of these clips, right click and give them a color. Let's say Sarah is lime. We'll also make her track lime. Change track color to lime. And Nathan, we'll right click, do his clip color. Let's do teal. And his track color will be teal as well. Okay, just a little bit easier to concentrate on this stuff. Another thing that's really cool, if you're going to be working on just a couple tracks, is to use the index. So if you go up here towards the upper left-hand corner, there's a button that says index. If you click on that, that will open up our track list here. And we can hide tracks by clicking this little eye. And it doesn't mute the track, but it does just hide it so that we can focus on what we're working on. So I'll just click on this eye and kind of drag up all the way just to our dialogue tracks. And we're going to solo both of these tracks as well. Again, hiding the other tracks doesn't mute them. That's why we have to solo them. But now we're going to level out this audio because it's kind of all over the place. Look, some of it is really, really quiet. You can tell by how small these waveforms are. And some of it is really loud. Like, look at this. It's super loud. So what we want to do is make sure that this all comes in at basically the same level. And the way we're going to do it isn't perfect, but it is really easy and will get us in the ballpark. Really what we're going to try and do is aim for our audio to peak at a certain level on our meters here. So if we look at our mixer, we have these meters down here. And if we play this back,
I know this is worth a lot.
We see the meters bouncing.
Money.
And what we're going to be looking for all of our audio, again, this is kind of just the roughest version of this, but we want the audio to be peaking around like -12 or so. And this is before we add any filters or anything. It's just making sure that things are about the right level. So that's what we're going to go through and do. And we can get sort of a head start on this if we select all of these clips right here, right click and go to normalize audio levels. And what this does is it will analyze everything that you have selected and it will try to basically set everything to be a similar level. And you can do this in a few different ways. We're going to just use true peak. And for our target level, let's say -12. And for our set level, let's select independent. What this is doing is setting the volume of each of the clips that we have selected so that it peaks at -12. And if we click independent, it's going to do that for each clip individually. If we did it relative, it's going to find the loudest clip that we've selected and kind of level everything to that. Now, there are a bunch of different settings for this normalization mode. For what we're doing, again, it's true peak works fine. You can also do this with loudness, but this tends to work better when you have longer clips, and these are all short clips. So we'll talk a little bit more about loudness later, but if you're into loudness, that is available. It just works better with longer clips in my experience. So let's do true peak, -12, independent, hit normalize. Now, what that's done is adjusted the volume, adjusted the gain of each of our clips individually, so that these all should be, the loudest part should be about the same size now. So we'll see a lot of these were turned up a lot. Some of them were turned down. Some of them were messed with. Now, we're still going to have to go through and listen to these, because anytime that you have any kind of automated process, it's not going to be perfect. Resolve doesn't know, for instance, that this really quiet line shouldn't be just crazy loud.
Wait.
That's why we have a lot of background noise here, because it just basically turned it up too much. So we'll have to go through and fix stuff like that. So let's go to the beginning and see how this sounds.
Okay.
And so this loudest part, that's peaking at about -12. That's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
We also have this environment out here where she's outside. We should really make this into a new track. So let's right click, add tracks. Let's do one below Sarah. That will be mono. Add a track. Let's call this Sarah dialogue ext Sarah for exterior. And we'll move these down to that different track. And let's just make this track color olive. We'll make these olive. So it's kind of the same color. I like to, if things are similar, make them just kind of a different shade of that color. So lime and olive, kind of similar. All right.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
So this stuff is too loud, needs to come down. So let's go ahead and we're going to remove the attributes here. So let's just right click and say remove attributes. And then it will ask, what attributes do you want to remove? Let's just remove volume and hit apply. And that'll kind of reset these back to where we had them. Maybe these do need to be a little bit louder, just not as loud as we had them.
It's fine.
We'll also have to match our ambient noise here when we kind of get into that. But here's the thing, this is context, right? So she's not saying something super loud. So it's okay if that comes in a little bit quiet. If something is quiet, it should sound quiet, right? Versus if something that should be loud is too quiet. It's a lot like color correction, right? Things should be in their place. So something that's quiet should sound quiet compared to everything else. And when we have sort of a standard here of, bouncing at -12, we can kind of figure out all right, is this technically quiet or not? Because, you can boost up your headphones, your system volume, and make anything loud. But is this loud relative to other stuff?
It's fine.
Let's boost this up maybe a little more.
It's fine. It's fine.
All right. Let's just go ahead and call it there.
It's fine.
We might need to mess with this later, but we'll give this just an initial boost. Let's select this clip and I'll hit Control C. And we're gonna copy and paste these attributes here. So let's select everything we want to copy to and hit Alt V. And that will paste the audio attributes just like we've pasted attributes in the edit page and stuff throughout the training. Let's hit apply. And now everything is at the same level. So now let's listen.
Get out of here. It's fine. It's fine.
All right. We also have this, I gotta get out of here,
Get out of here.
which should also be on the exterior Sarah track. So let's actually take this and add tracks. Let's do one below exterior Sarah. This, and we'll call this dialogue exterior Sarah 2. And this is going to move up like this. And this should be olive. This should be olive.
Get out of here.
And we should also paste the attributes. I'll hit Alt V and hit apply.
Gotta get out of here. It's fine. It's fine.
We also should probably fade these because we have that kind of air sound. That's probably going to do nothing but help us if we fade these. So easy way to fade anything in audio is just to grab this little handle and just drag it in on each side.
Gotta get out of here.
We also should probably crossfade this. Just right click on the transition here. And let's say add 6 frame crossfade. And let's see how that sounds.
Out of here. It's fine. It's fine.
Same thing, we'll add a little crossfade here.
It's fine. It's fine.
And we'll turn this down. And maybe extend this out a little bit. Okay. So now we have our exterior Sarah audio, I think pretty well leveled, faded. Let's go back here to this one, see if we need to fade this one. Let's go ahead and fade it just a little.
Okay.
Okay. And let's go over here to our main dialogue. And now it would actually be really nice to have this Nathan track up by the Sarah track because they kind of go back and forth. One way that you can move a track up is if you right click on the track here in the timeline, you can say move track up. This is going to get real miserable when you have like 20, 30 tracks and you have a track at the bottom that you want at the top. So an easy way to move things around is with that index. So let's open up the index here. And now we can click and drag and kind of reorder things. So let's put Nathan here right after Sarah. And we can kind of reorder our tracks that way. Pretty nice. Close our index here and let's take a look.
Please don't shoot.
Give me the case.
I know this is worth a lot.
So what we're listening for here is everything on Sarah's end peaking at about -12? And does it sound okay when it's peaking at -12?
Please don't shoot.
It's good.
I know this is worth a lot of money. And, you know, a second ago, I thought that's what I wanted. But
I don't have time for this.
I think this is supposed to be on her.
But it could help me. But it could help me.
I don't have time for this. Don't have time.
Should be Nathan. Remember when we totally split up these tracks, but also we didn't? Welcome to post-production. All right.
Wanted, but it could help me. Hold on. There's 2 of them. You know, what if I help you find the other one?
All right. This is a little bit quiet here, so I'm going to split this and boost it up just a little.
There's 2 of them. You know, what if I help you find the other one? Hold on. There's 2 of them. You know, what if...
And we'll just do a crossfade here.
Hold on. There's 2 of them. You know, what if I help you find the other one?
And it's a little bit of a harsh transition, so we're going to fade this out.
And the other one.
There we go. Okay, let's move over. Again, fade this in.
But 1 minute you were here, and then you weren't, and now you are. This thing, it altered things somehow. I don't know, but...
All right. So now this line is probably loud enough, but we're going to probably boost the rest of this a couple dB.
I don't know what happened, but 1 minute you were here, and then you weren't, and now you are. This thing, it altered things somehow. I don't know, but it's...
Let's say this part is a little bit too loud. Let's split this. And I like to do it this way rather than drawing in stuff because a lot of people will do this. You can hold down Alt and click on this volume line and it will add basically a keyframe. You can do stuff like this and kind of just boost up one part. And if you like to do that, that's fine. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with doing that. It's just for me, it's a little bit harder to edit later. If you decide you want one part to be quieter, like you have to go in and perfectly click this little volume point. Whereas if you split up the clips like this, then you can boost them up and then just crossfade them. And then it's a little bit easier to kind of just adjust each section. And you can adjust this fade. Like if this section was way down, right? You can adjust this fade and it will do basically the same thing. It's just you have a little bit more control over it. So it depends on what you like. I like to do it this way by splitting up the clip and crossfading it. I feel like that's a nicer solution than drawing in, but it's basically the same thing. You want to boost up the quieter parts so that they can be heard without seeming unnatural, right?
I don't know what happened, but one minute you were here, and then you weren't, and now you are.
All right, so we'll take the now you are, boost that up a little, take this part, boost this up a little.
I don't know what happened, but one minute you were here, and then you weren't, and now you are. This thing, it altered things somehow. I don't know, but it's...
Okay. Do the same thing here.
Things somehow. I don't know, but it altered things somehow. I don't know, but it's...
All right, so now let's listen through this.
I don't know what happened, but one minute you were here, and then you weren't, and now you are. This thing, it altered things somehow. I don't know, but it's...
We're trying to make sure that this all sounds about the same.
I don't know what happened.
And some of this, if we boost it too much, is gonna get too much of that room tone. And so we kind of do it within reason.
I don't know what happened, but one minute you were here, and then you weren't. I don't know what happened, but one minute you were here, and then you weren't.
It's just gonna kind of go up a little bit, I think.
I don't know what happened, but one minute you were here, and then you weren't, and now you are. This thing, it... And then you weren't, and now you are. This thing, it altered things.
Let's have this fade right there where this loudest part is. We'll boost that. Boost this up a little.
And then you weren't, and now you are. This thing, it altered things some... This thing, it altered things somehow. I don't know, but it's...
All right. So we have her line all leveled out. Let's go to this next line here.
A twist and... What are you doing?
Again, we'll just fade this. It's generally a rule with audio. You want to fade almost everything because you just have less problems later.
A twist and... What are you doing? If you leave it here, someone else... A twist and... What are you doing? If you leave... What are you doing? If you leave it here, someone else...
All right. Let's boost this part up a little.
If you leave it here, someone else... If you leave it here, someone else... What are you doing? If you leave it here, someone else...
All right, this part is actually supposed to be part of the Foley. So let's go back to our index and turn our tracks on. Bring that down to Foley. Okay. And again, like this is way too loud. So let's remove the attributes here.
Wait.
This part where she says, wait, let's see how much we can boost this before it gets crazy.
Wait. Wait. Wait, no. No. No, no.
Yeah, I think something like that. So let's just fade this in.
Wait. Wait. No. No. No, 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 no. No, 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 no!
And
No, 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 no!
when she says no, we're going to turn this down a little bit. We don't want that to be too crazy, but we do want this part to be a little bit louder.
No, 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 no. No, 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 no! No, 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 no!
Here we go. And we'll do a little crossfade here.
No, 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 no!
All right. So there is our... See, these are gun clicks. Let's bring those down to gun clicks. Let's turn on our gun clicks track. Perfect. Okay, so we have her audio pretty much leveled out. Let's go through Nathan's audio, which is starts here at about 3 minutes and 40 seconds or so. Solo Nathan's audio. And again, let's grab all of this and we'll just start by normalizing it. Select all of this, right click, normalize, independent true peak, -12. And let's just see how that sounds.
The device. Hand it over. The device. Hand it over. The device. The device. Hand it over.
And we'll do a little crossfade.
Hand it over.
Fade this out.
Hand it over. Give me the case.
Let's make sure these are peaking at -12.
The device. Hand it over. Give me the case.
Let's maybe boost this up. Probably don't need to really, but that's all right. We'll do it.
Give me the case.
Too much.
Give me the case.
Good.
I don't have time for this. I don't have...
Let's boost this. Let's roll this out a little more. I'm going to turn off snapping because it just sometimes messes up the audio. This little snapping icon. What happens is like you try and roll this out a little bit, but it won't because it's snapping to this edge. So if you turn off snapping, you can roll this out just a little. Okay.
I don't have time for this. I don't have time for this. I don't have time for this. I don't have time for this.
I think this part let's boost up a little bit.
I don't have time for this.
That works.
You did not listen to the message, did you? It said, one device, one winner. Okay?
And I think this could all come up just a dB or so.
You did not listen to the message, did you? It said, one device, one winner. Listen to the message, did you?
All right, here where it says listen to the message, that's a little loud, so we'll just do a little crossfade here. We'll boost the rest of this up a little.
You did not listen to the message, did you? It said, one device, one winner. Okay? One winner. Okay?
And the nice thing is you can kind of approximate how much you need to turn this up by just looking at the size of the waveforms.
One winner. Okay?
And it works pretty well, even though I'm sure that's not like technically accurate. It works pretty well.
One winner. Okay? Listen to the message, did you? It said, one device, one winner. Okay?
Good. Let's fade that out. Move on to the next part. His big line.
You know, there's this funny little theory about the Mobius. It's a twist in the fabric of space where time.
So let's take this part, boost this up a little. So most of this is about that same size.
You know, there's this funny little. You know.
And we'll turn this down a little here.
You know, there's this funny little theory about the Mobius. It's a twist in the fabric of space where time becomes a loop and.
Here we go. We'll just boost up this quieter part here.
Of space where time becomes a loop, and unfortunately for you, you're just. Well,
basically just splitting this anytime that the volume changes a lot.
Where time becomes a loop, and unfortunately for you, you're just. Well, you just happen to be stuck in one of those times.
All right. Almost done.
Times. Someone else will find it. Someone else will find it.
Let's boost the last part of this.
Someone else will find it. It.
I'm making sure to trim the end of his line here because there's a little bit of kind of some natural sound right there. So we want to trim it right there and then just do a little fade so that we keep that T sound. Okay, that should work.
We'll find it.
Okay. And then his last line.
Time's up.
Time's up. Get it? Time's up.
Time's up. Time's up.
All right. That works.
Time's up.
And we have her breathing there too, but it's going to be fine because it's actually works fine in the context. So now we have our dialogue pretty much normalized. Anytime that we hear somebody talk, as long as they're talking normal and not whispering or something, it's peaking at about -12. So everything should sound the same level. We shouldn't have to turn our volume up or down. We shouldn't have to strain too much. So let's listen.
The device. Hand it over.
Please don't shoot.
Give me the case.
I know this is worth a lot of money. And, you know, a second ago, I thought that's what I wanted, but it could help me.
I don't have time for this.
Hold on. There's two of them. You know, what if I help you find the other one?
You did not listen to the message, did you? It said, one device, one winner, okay?
I don't know what happened, but one minute you were here, and then you weren't, and now you are. This thing, it altered things somehow. I don't know, but
You know, there's this funny little theory about the Mobius. It's a twist in the fabric of space where time becomes a loop, and unfortunately for you, you're just, well, you just happen to be stuck in one of those times.
a twist in. What are you doing? If you leave it here, someone else.
Someone else will find it.
Wait. No. No.
Time's
No.
up.
No.
All right. Sounds good.